Plantwide integration makes the circuit sing. Unified namespaces, speaking in code. We're walking a tightrope down the data road. From schematics to sensors, we break every wall. Modeling dreams, ready to answer the call. Can you feel it rise? The efficiency spark, PLCs grinding hard, lighting up the dark. Dashboards flashing like
Welcome to
stars.
Big Lake, Minnesota. I'm your host, Bryce Yoakum of Plantwide Integration. So today, I'll be showing you the art of the possible with the UNS. I'll show you what it means when Walker says it's structured in a way that AI understands. I'm going to show you what I built on a public UNS on HiveMQ in 30 minutes on my cell phone while eating lunch at a customer's plant this week. I had their computer, so I couldn't use anything else. I had just my cell phone. I had to come up with a solution that I could demo right away. Why did I build it? Because I'm going to prove it 2026, and basically I wanted to build a dashboard stealer. So I wanted to walk around with a tablet and be able to steal other people's dashboards and just automatically populate them with the data from the UNS. So basically make the exact same thing that they did in a matter of seconds. But while I was doing that, I also realized there was a lot of value there and that I could just basically type in any prompt and have it make any dashboard off of that UNS. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm already started sharing my screen here. It takes a while to load. So while it is generating the dashboard, I'm going to be discussing the UNS and kind of explaining what it is and why it's useful. We'll make 2 or 3 different dashboards just for fun. Let's start with, well, actually we better connect first. In the Explorer here, you can connect to a broker. So right now, you can see I'm connecting to the HiveMQ broker. This is Plantwide integration in there. I have a simulator that's running already. Basically, the data from this, I pulled from one of Walker's websites. So this is the virtualfactory.online. Basically, on my phone, I copied all of this and pasted it in and had Claude create me a script that just puts random data into here. And I'm running that on a Google Colab. And the reason I picked Google Colab is because it has processing power for free on the internet. So I could do that without having my computer do it right from my cell phone. That is not how you would normally want to do it. So you can see I am now connected to the UNS, the fake UNS. Quite a bit of data in here, so pretty good for making reports and stuff. Let's go to the generate. So let's do make an enterprise dashboard Christmas. So I'm going to let the AI kind of pick what goes on this dashboard, but it should come out Christmas themed. And they'll probably put some nice little icons and little slogans on there for us. But it does take a long time, so while that's going, I'm just going to talk about the UNS a little bit just for educational purposes. So what is a unified namespace? It's the current state of everything in your plant. It's not a historian, so we don't want to confuse those two things. So an example would be your process data. So all your devices, your rates, your conveyor speeds, things like that, when sensors are turning on and off. Your ERP data, so what is running, who is it for, what the work order is, when does it ship, how much has been produced, and what's remaining, and whatever else you want from your ERP. Your maintenance info, so your CMMS, open, in progress work orders, mean time between failure, mean time to repair, scheduled maintenance, etc. Your MES data, so your OEE, your TEEP, your warehouse management information, so what ingredients, where did they come from, where are they going, where's your finished product need to go, and then your PLC data. So all of your PLC data would be ideal, so we want to take everything. That's not always possible, so having a good PLC naming structure really helps here. I did a LinkedIn post on this, so check that out. Some other common things might be your paths to the historian. So remember I said this isn't a historian, but oftentimes there's a script or something in between your historian and your MQTT broker. So one thing you can do is when you're writing you're writing that time series data into your historian, you can also write back the path to that data into the broker so that if something else is looking for it, it's easy to find. Same with your SQL databases and things like that. Some other common things that can be in there. You might pull back historian data and have, maybe your OEE data for the entire shift. So hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, all the way up to hour 8. Looks like our dashboard's done here. So let's talk about that real quick. So you can see what it did. So it's got the Dallas site and the Austin site. If you remember from when we were scrolling through that, these are the two sites that are in there, so that's good. It's got all the OEE data, and these should update every 10 seconds, assuming that my script is still running and Colabs didn't shut it down. So we have our Dallas assembly line 1, assembly line 2, and quality Christmas tree. That's creative. All systems producing quality gifts. Nice. And then Santa's workshop. So Dallas total orders, Austin total orders, and heat treatment active. Sorry. Gifts being manufactured for Christmas. So I put some fun little things in there and kind of generates out some nice dashboards here. So let's do a new one. Give me a maintenance dashboard for the Austin plant New Year's. So basically this is querying the UNS again, and it's going and finding this data in there. One thing I had to add in is to not ever make up information, because sometimes it just randomly would make up things that were missing. So why is it important to have a UNS? So when changes are needed, basically, let's look at this. If we have an architecture, something like this, and this is just randomly generated, so some of this doesn't make sense, like REST API here from the PLC. But it gives you the idea of what a typical architecture looks like when you're in a plant. So we have just kind of arrows going everywhere, information passing everywhere. But one of the things here is, okay, what happens when, the ERP API needs to change? Well, now you got to go into each device that's connected to that and change it. Or if you have a SQL database and you need to change a table or something, now how do you update that without breaking everything? It becomes extremely difficult, extremely complex. You got all of these points, all these nodes that need to basically connect and be updated every time something changes anywhere in the architecture. And that's really the biggest downfall in my opinion. And now you have all of that information in somebody's head. Somebody has to know where to go to get the information. So is it in the ERP system? Is it in the MES system? Is it in the maintenance system? Is it in your SCADA system? Who knows? Somebody's got to know that. What happens when that person leaves? What happens if that person's not there that day? Or nobody knows. You just got to figure it out. It becomes extremely difficult to maintain that. It's structured in a way that makes sense to both people and AI. So a unified namespace basically pushes everything into your MQTT broker. So I kind of talked about APIs and things like that, and your security levels. Well, you can push pretty much everything into your MQTT broker and manage a lot of that security right here in your broker, instead of having to manage it in my CMMS and my MES and my historian. Now, the MQTT broker gets access to everything, and your security and everything can be handled right through there. And it reduces time for future integration. And this is probably the biggest one for me, because me coming in as an integrator, I want it to be as fast and easy and cheap as possible. So if I have something that has everything in one place and I don't have to talk to 10 different people to figure out this architecture and spend 10 months trying to figure out, where everything is and what it's doing, I can just come right in here, I can go to your broker, I can see everything that I need, and I can integrate it in a new line. I can integrate in new PLCs. I can see the architecture that you want in there already. And it provides a way for people to kind of put their own thing in. So you can have a space in that MQTT broker that is basically ad hoc. So anyone can just throw information in there in whatever organized manner that they want. It doesn't really matter. And then if it becomes useful, then we take that and we upgrade it and we put it into the main part of our UNS. All right, I bet this is done. Yeah, so here's our New Year's themed one. Well, we probably should have told it the year, but kind of get the idea of what it's capable of doing. You can see that line 1 has scheduled maintenance, line 2 is completed, the heat treat line just switched to scheduled, and the heat treat line number 2 is completed. So you can just kind of see the capabilities of what this can do. And again, I built this on my cell phone in 30 minutes, not even at my office. I was just at a plant eating lunch and came up with the idea for this and built it out. It was actually harder to get the information for the UNS that I could share than it was to actually build this out. It took me almost 4 hours to find the information to build out this UNS simulation. So what's another one? Let's get more specific. So let's look at give me line 1 information at the Austin plant. Everything you got. All right. So, we've kind of talked about the UNS and the importance of the UNS. So now I'm just going to talk a little bit about my own company. Plantwide Integration is an automation and integration company handling everything from PLCs, AMIs, SCADA, ERPs, and some smaller robotic systems. If we need to do anything larger, we partner with local OEMs to help bring those to your plant. We do discrete and process automation, we do consulting, panel building, pretty much anything that you need for your project. We are heavily focused on Minnesota, so basically all of our customers are going to have some sort of tie to Minnesota. Perfect. So here's our Austin plant. You got our OEE information right at the top. Like you can just see like something like this. Think of as an executive how much of a hassle it is in order for you to get something like this. And for this, I also tied in a cool little history so we can go back and look at the old ones. But you could also have this export out the code for this so you can make changes or whatever, which would be pretty cool. I don't have that integrated. That's pretty much everything there. So for future videos, just trying to see if this does help people if they want more videos. I could do videos about PLC programming. You know, there's a million videos out there on how to program a PLC, but very few that actually show you how to do it for an entire system or do that professionally, where you have code that is a full framework that your team can use and makes everybody better and faster and produces better code. So that's one thing that I could do. If you have other suggestions, I'd be happy to hear them. And if you have comments or anything I screwed up on or something you found that was wrong with my video, please post that in the comments as well so we can get it corrected. Thank you. Appreciate it.